Day 2 of the 2024 edition of the Farnborough Air Show has kicked off, and it's been Airbus so far. But what has been happening? Well, Virgin Atlantic has announced the completion of its fleet transformation efforts with a new aircraft purchase from the European plane maker for none other than the A330neo. The deal for an aircraft which, I have to remind you, is already in the Virgin Atlantic fleet was unveiled at the beginning of Day 2. Once delivered, this plane will bring the UK-based airline's commitment to the overall aircraft family to 19 units, and is part of an overall ambition to streamline and become considerably more efficient. Virgin Atlantic has undergone a pretty hefty fleet transformation over the last 5 years, with most notably the removal of older and therefore inefficient quad-engine planes, and while these types were beloved, they simply weren't going to work in the Virgin Atlantic fleet for the long term. As part of this pretty major strategy shift, the airline did opt for, you guessed it, more fuel-efficient types that just so happen to be twin-engine, and this would come from Airbus and Boeing. It has since adopted fleet types such as the plane I'm talking about right now in the A330neo, but also the A350-1000, this being their high-capacity aircraft, and I can't forget the 787 from Boeing. Although if we look at the last 5 years and the fleet transformation process, the earlier two aircraft from the European plane maker are fresher than the 787, which has now been around for some time. These aforementioned aircraft have all been instrumental in lowering costs quite considerably right across the fleet, and they've provided Virgin Atlantic with one of the youngest fleets in Europe, but you could easily extend that to the world. The purchase of additional units, as touched on, will bring the total commitment to the A330neo to 19, in a move described by Airbus that will improve overall economics and fleet harmony for the company. Virgin Atlantic, really interestingly, calls the order the final piece of their transformation to become more efficient. The airline says it's seen the A330neo's success already within the fleet, and this is from a business standpoint, but also it says customers love the experience. So a new purchase will be incredibly beneficial. Obviously, having more units will offer greater flexibility across their network. The relationship between Airbus and Virgin Atlantic is one that runs deep, from the arrival of the first aircraft in 1993 to the many more that have followed. It's been key in developing the UK-based company to the position that they are now, and despite a very slow last couple of years for the A330neo program at Airbus, well, the plane maker has been progressively attracting not just returning, but also new customers in the last 12 months, and its efficiency has been a proved solution for some particular markets. And again, while it won't be welcoming in thousands of orders every year, it doesn't need to, and slowly but surely, that order book is going to raise. You can let me know your thoughts on Virgin Atlantic's new purchase for the A330neo, which is of course them adding to a plane that they already fly and deem to be really ideal for them. Stay tuned across DJ's Aviation, whether that is the website, socials, or here on YouTube, for rolling coverage of the Farnborough Air Show.
And we'll fly.